Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. We have some crazy things occurring in the market as we speak. Let's start off with this important clip about Palantir.
You've got 30 seconds to tell me how AI can help ICE on the border. That will be Palantir helping ICE on the border.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable. Most viewers may not know this, Stuart, but Palantir has a multi-million-dollar contract with ICE to help store data on illegal immigrants in this country. So before ICE is looking to make a raid, all that data is tracked in Palantir. Palantir uses AI. They're looking at purchases. They're looking at movements. They're looking at cell phone transactions, calls. All that is stored through Palantir. I think that's a win for the stock. Spending, I think, is going to shift more towards Palantir next year, Stuart.
David Nicholas, good.
Very interesting take, and I can see that perspective because we've talked about this before. With the change in administration, and especially on the control in terms of border control that the U.S. is going to be working on, Palantir does have a multi-million-dollar contract with ICE to store data on all that type of relevant information. The fact that this is going to be on a further crackdown is a win for Palantir, and I think in terms of defense, lots of other areas on how Palantir can benefit. They're going to be a major benefactor of the change in administration. Now, before we get too far, we got some other big things to talk about. We're on a road to 19,000 subscribers. We're growing quick. I can't thank you guys enough. Hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, pop it up quick here. Palantir, a little bit of a cool off. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. Palantir jumped up at market open to about $71, $72, coming down here, closing right beneath $70. Now, this was in reaction to Tuesday's announcement that the federal government had gave Palantir Technologies a higher rating for actually secure cloud computing services as they achieved that FedRAMP High milestone for their full product suite, including the award-winning AIP platform. We had talked about this in yesterday's video. And what we see today in terms of a continuation here, Alex Karp actually comes out here at the National Security Innovation Forum with some very interesting remarks. And one of the big quotes that Palantir even posted here themselves, saying that the way that you dominate the future is you dominate the present. It's an interesting take there, saying that America seems to be the only Western country that believes we will be around in 900 to 1,000 years, and that's what I want. Saying here, I want America to be American in 1,000 years, and the way you get there is you dominate on the battlefield today. So not talking about the future, actually making moves today. Alex Karp has always been a strong leader for Palantir. It's one of the reasons that this channel has been bullish on it, is because he's been a key leader doing a really good job running this company. And we're seeing that he's very well spoken and very bullish on what Palantir can provide towards America here in the next, what they say, 900 to 1,000 years. Now, back to the price action, what we saw volume at about 86 million. And right now we see options activity pretty high. We got 51,000 for end of the week at the $70 strike price in terms of call volume. So lots of options activity going on. We see a bounce in the market. We're going to be talking about that, continuing to set these record highs. Now, nonetheless, a lot of bullish things have been happening to Palantir. People talking about their valuation. What's happening with that? We do have, and what we've seen across the board, are some people starting to take profits. You can see here, Drunken Miller sells 95% of Palantir's stake as the valuation soars. You have this coming out here today. We also saw some information that we had some insider selling from the CTO. We're going to continue to see this across the board. If Palantir is going to produce these large market capitalization gains for early investors, I am not going to be surprised if we continue to see profit taking across the board. That is not a bad thing. That is people taking advantage of downside risk potential. And the fact that Palantir is at this extreme valuation that is being completely disconnected from what's actually happening in terms of reality, in terms of fundamentals, in terms of price to earnings, price to sales, it is a large outlier compared to its competitors right now. Now, does this still have room to run? I think that's also entirely possible. We mentioned this in yesterday's video that regardless of the valuation being completely disconnected right now, Palantir, along with a lot of these other AI stocks, are on an incredible run, and we're going to continue, I think, to see this rally. Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, just hit $100,000, and we have some important remarks to talk about what happened in the market today. You have overall the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500 hitting new record highs as tech resurges to be a leader today. The NASDAQ up 1.3%. S&P up 0.6, Dow Jones up about 2.7% right here. And what you see is tech rally really boosted these stocks on Wednesday with all the major indexes hitting new closes. And as investors, they digested the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell. He came out with a statement on comments regarding the U.S. economy, saying that it is remarkably in a good shape. This is great to see here. You've seen Amazon, Apple doing good, and markets kept moving higher as Powell spoke at the New York Times Dealbook Summit and talking to shake investors' confidence little that the Fed is actually going to be cutting interest rates in the December meeting. This is increasing the probability that this is going to occur. Talking about this and referencing the remarkable good shape, they feel, investors across the board, Wall Street feels that this is a good reason for the Fed to possibly afford to be a little more cautious. However, across the board, the central bank is widely expected to reduce its rates after the December 18th meeting, and traders are now increasing that probability, what we saw at like 50% originally, 67% a week ago, now at 77% odds. So lots of expectations. You're also seeing here a reading on private payroll suggested that the labor market is softening, but not too much. This is a key economic release for the week. And you also have Bitcoin here that is now crossing $100,000, sitting on new record highs after we saw the announcement of the nomination of the new SEC chair, Paul Atkins, who is actually seen as a pro-cryptocurrency official, and the former SEC chair that was under George W. Bush administration, currently serving on the advisory board for digital securities and issue platforms. So what we're seeing here, Bitcoin having a large influx right here as a new nomination for the SEC chair, basically, is pro-crypto, and the crypto markets are reacting in a very positive and bullish way. Across the board, what we're seeing this, where does Bitcoin go from here? We could possibly continue to see a run-up as well as what we've seen in December across the board. The fact that December has historically been a very, very good month in terms of producing reliable returns after we've seen a 10% increase in the market on top of an election year. December has never been negative looking at those constraints. Now, that doesn't mean that this, of course, could be a negative month. However, just looking historically, December has been a pretty good month. So is that Santa rally continuing? One bad thing that happened in the market today, and a very sad tragedy, was UnitedHealth CEO was actually fatally shot. Yes, fatally shot outside Manhattan Hotel in a targeted attack, and the suspect is still out there at large. Now, what happened here is that the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan was hosting UnitedHealthcare's annual investing meeting, and the police here said that it appears that the suspect was actually lying in wait for several minutes, and as the victim was walking here, to the hotel, was approached from behind and was fired at several different times, and then they had fled, and they can't be found now. Very sad to see across the board. What was the target behind this attack? We'll probably get some more details. Hopefully they find the actual suspect, so that way they're not out there. But a lot of the enforcements are saying that this was premeditated, the fact that it was targeted just at the UnitedHealthcare CEO. Very sad to see across the board, though. In terms of NVIDIA, what we do see here is actually breaking resistance above a key point at a buyback point. And with that tech surge that we saw kind of across the board today, NVIDIA is back up to 145 now. You can see had a very nice reversal at about that $130 area where we've seen support in the past. So this could also have a big weight on bringing up the general market. On top of some of the other things that we are seeing, I expect tomorrow to still continue to be bullish. bullish, especially with cryptocurrency, with these new nominations and Bitcoin hitting a milestone of over $100,000. This is going to cause more of those animal spirits that we've talked about piling into the market. Emotion is piling in right now, which means volatility will also increase. So make sure people do not get too greedy. Do not get too far ahead of yourselves. Always do your own due diligence, your own research. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end and you haven't subscribed yet, let's hit that goal of 19,000 and continue on to the 20s. Peace out, take care. I'll catch you guys later and have a wonderful day.